Hello, Bloodstains. My name's Callum, and I'm here as usual with Alistair to discuss this week's matches.
There's been another interesting week, I think.
Yeah, there's been
Maybe,
lots of goals, lots of SPP shared around, though one game in particular seems to take the whole lot.
yeah, yeah, but not as many upsets.
No, not
But
this week. Yeah, we can talk about each game individually. Um, just a quick note, guys. No highlights this week because you may have noticed it was quite choppy last week, and I'm going to get that sorted before we bring the highlights back. So hopefully, touch wood, highlights next week, but we'll see. Alright then, let's get that into it, Alistair. First
so
match, Freddy's Nightmares versus the IDF. You watched
for
this one.
this, I did. Uh, it was an interesting match. So Freddy's Nightmares kicks the ball to IDF. They do manage to pick it up, but he tries to hit with his Minotaur, like the second thing he does. And of course, he gets them both down. He tries to get a re-roll. The Minotaur loners. Down goes the Minotaur. And it left a bit of a gap for the Necro team to sort of run up, not quite getting onto the ball. So IDF basically, they pick up the ball. They're managing to cage up, moving down the field. There were a couple of times I was thinking, oh, is Freddy's Nightmare going to use their wizard? And they don't. But he actually manages to screen them off and mark the players so well that in the first half, IDF basically get to the line of scrimmage, and that's as far as they're going to get. And we go into half time at 0-0. The first half, he takes Sectech off the pitch, though, so Freddy's Nightmares do lose a star player. In the second half, Freddy's Nightmare receives the ball, and they're able to break through up one end, and IDF is marking and blocking, but he uses the wizard, lightning bolts the bull centaur, and is able to run the werewolf all the way up, but the chaos dwarves are hot on his heels and he has to score pretty quickly.
Chaos Dwarves are hot on heels. What on earth's going on?
That's right. I mean, close enough. With the bull centaurs and the maybe not the dwarves so much, but the hobgoblins and the bull centaurs. And so IDF are then receiving the ball. At this point, I think Daniel realizes that maybe he played a bit too cautiously in the first half. Oh, he gets a touchback and he gives it to a bull centaur. I think that does make a difference. And he's able to easily sort of break through the line this time. He's playing a lot more aggressive and aggressively moving down the pitch. And again, he's not really able to stall too much. And he just scores with about 2 turns left at the end. Freddy's Nightmares aren't able to do anything with that. So the match ends 1-1. The interesting part of this match, and the other thing I was going to comment on, is Daniel, don't foul with your Chaos Dwarves. That's what the Hobgoblins are for. He got a Chaos Dwarf sent off on a foul. It's like, that's what your Hobgoblins are for. And in fact, when we talk about team building, that you might notice sometimes we'll say, yeah, that one needs to get dirty player, and it's a Hobgoblin. So, but no, I mean, Daniel's coming a long way as a player. You know, he didn't make any massively glaring mistakes. There was one part where the Necro in the first half were able to push a corner of the cage and push the ball carrier out onto the other corner of the cage, but he couldn't get round to do any blitzing or anything. And he did the Minotaur again, so that would be my other thing to be very aware of with those big guys. You know, they don't have block unless they roll a double, and you took Claw, which is fine. You know, obviously you've got to make that choice. Blocking with them early, if they roll that both down and you know they have loner, and if that fails, it's your turn over. So maybe look to use those big players later on in your turn and not so much. I know the temptations are he'll bust through the line and he'll clear it all the way. Then he rolls like I said, a skull or a both down, and then it's all over for that turn. But no, it was a what you call it was a steady Blood Bowl match. I mean, the fact that the Chaos Dwarves were able to do a returning touchdown in the second half, because like I said in the first half, they got stopped at the line of scrimmage. I thought, I wonder if Daniel's going to be able to pull something out here, and fair play he did, and there he got the tie.
The ball centers are fast, so if he gets a gap, he can exploit it.
Yeah. I mean, in this case, I mean, he just happened. He got the touchback and gave it to him. I mean, obviously, he's doing a little something different to the Barmy Army and making these hobgoblins the ball carriers. So we could have a look at how the teams are doing.
Yeah, well, first we're going to go to statistics.
The statistics. Sorry, yes.
Yeah, this is the sort of thing you sort of expect with this sort of game. The bash team, the slow bash team, holding the ball for much longer parts of the game, while the slightly faster, equal bash team but more a fouling team, holding the ball for less of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things. I mean, IDF had the ball the entire first half, in their own half. And when Freddy's Nightmares had the ball, I mean, he scored within like 3-4 turns. And then the ball went back again.
The ball was in Liam's in someone's hand in Liam's half for 43% of the game, while only 37%. 43% in each half.
Freddy's Nightmares is Barry.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Liam's the other one. That's all right.
Yeah. So the ball spent probably like two turns each way on the ground. Looking at these sort of stats. But it's like the ball would probably been in. The ball seems to be in Liam's court most of the game.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, as you can see, they didn't get a lot of injuries inflicted on each other, really.
Which is a bit of a shame. I like good bash.
That's right. Nothing that didn't make any difference. To the game. So.
Nothing too surprising here. A lot of casualties, a lot of knockouts sustained for Freddy's Nightmares, but of course that's because the Chorps have thick skulls, so if you do break their armour, they're not likely to come off the pitch anyway.
No, they're hard to get off.
But yeah, let's look at the SPP. Slightly bit more for the IDF. That's probably just due to the amount of casualties they've caused. I think one more casualty, maybe two more. So it's one more casualty exactly. It's very much two bash teams bashing each other to a draw. Yeah.
I think but the Nightmares, even though they got less, the Wolfman and it's his goal, and that's pretty much where he wanted them. Where you want them on that team.
Yeah, looking at those dice rolls, that's a lot of 3s, not many 4s. It's kind of where you want them. You're probably looking at about most of those dice rolls are about average. You're probably looking at about 24 to 26. Just looking at it off the top of my head. Very unlucky. Not many 4s, but did he look like it was bad rolling for Barry?
No, I thought I thought their dice were pretty even. Watching the game, I mean, for Daniel, it was mostly the double skull on the Minotaur was more the problem than anything else. I mean, they were able both when they wanted to pick up the ball, were able to pick up the ball. The only thing Barry had is occasionally when he probably could have done with getting a player down, he was getting a push. But in terms of the dice there, I mean, sorry, that's the block dice. But
lots of block dice. Those are slightly favourable dice for the IDF. If you have a look, they haven't got that many push compared to compared to defender downs.
No,
because if you count those stumbles, which are basically defender downs when your entire team has tackle.
That's right.
And of course, blocks not bad for them either because of course they're dwarfs. It's good dice for them, but good dice for Liam. Maybe Barry can consider himself a slight bit unlucky with his dice rolling, but again, it's Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
If you play well, you will get good dice. It's a fact.
Basically, you don't. But
actually,
when you're watching the games, I mean, unless somebody has a big run of really bad luck, I always think, the dice are pretty even. They both got pushes. They both got players, stunned and KO'd. And
I had a bit of bad luck at the end of my game, but I still won the game. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. So they played each other out into a draw. seems to be a quiet start to the week. But
Yes.
yeah, this draw is probably to be expected if we're thinking about it. Liam, as you say, is up and coming, but he is not Liam.
Daniel.
Daniel's up and coming. Sorry, Daniel, I've called you Liam 3 times, and sorry, Liam, as well. But yes, Daniel's up and coming. He's up and coming, but I don't think I've done that well ever against him. He's always. I'm pretty sure I've not only won once against him, so I think Daniel's pretty good.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot. He used to keep his ball handler a little bit too open, but he seems to have stopped doing that now. So.
Yeah, let's come to my first game.
Teams.
Oh yeah, teams. So let's quick have a look.
Yeah.
So Freddy's Nightmares, their SPP was 5 to rig on Marrowblade, which was the loner. Wolfman got 2 and it got 3. So let's have a quick look at that. They are on here, as I've finally remembered.
So you didn't get any level ups.
Hold on, not quite there yet.
Sorry.
He did choose to buy Wriggle Marrowblade though, which I think is probably the right idea because it's a loner with 5 SPP.
Yeah.
So the loner is no longer there. Wolfman doesn't get the level up, and it doesn't get the level up. But yeah, it's probably going to score another touchdown depending on who he's playing next week. So
I think he wants to be looking at getting the second werewolf.
Yeah.
That would be my choice.
He's only got 10k, so that's a little way. That's a little way away.
Way off.
But yeah, and IDF their SPP was 5 to Netanyahu, 5 to Shimon Peres, and 2 to Iron Tail. So let's go to that. And Daniel hasn't leveled up his players yet.
No, I wonder if he sometimes waits to see what we're going to say, perhaps that he should take. So I think for Benjamin Netanyahu, he has dodge. That's actually in a good position if he wanted to change tact a little bit and give him sure hands and make him a ball carrier. I mean, dodge, sure hands, bull centaur, ball carrier.
I would be tempted with extra arms first, but
yeah. He can't get mutations unless he rolls a double.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Chaos Dwarves get mutations on doubles. The only teams that get them on normals is Chaos and Nurgle.
Okay.
And maybe Chaos Nurgle, Underworld, and Chaos Pact, which isn't in Blood Bowl 2, all get them on normals. Everything else, Skaven, Chaos Dwarves, get them on doubles.
If you want him to be a blitzing piece, probably tackle, then Mighty Blow, or Mighty Blow, then tackle. If you want him to be a ball handling piece, obviously Sure Hands is the next choice right there.
In fact, the Bull Centaurs don't look like they get mutation access. Hang on, let me just pick up Chaos Dwarf.
Let's see, if I click on the player, you can just click on
it. That's something I wasn't aware of. The Bull Centaurs don't have mutation access at all.
Oh, that's interesting.
The Chaos Dwarves get it on a double, and the Hobgoblins get it on a... don't get them at all. So it's only the Chaos... I deal with that. I wasn't aware of. So the Chaos Dwarves and the Minotaur can get it on a double, and the rest of the team don't get them.
So this is going to be an important skill to look out for, whether he's going to go for a ball handler or if he's going to go for a blitzing piece.
Yeah, and if you go for a blitzing piece, then you've got options between tackle, strip ball, mighty blow.
I think tackle's probably the best choice for the next skill, especially because we've got those. He hasn't played out the Skaven teams yet, has he?
No.
Or the Skaven or the Lizards. Or didn't the Elves. You might have played one. You sure he's played one of those? No, he's played you though.
He's played the Amazon.
Well, let's go into the next game.
It's the next game.
Rats versus Ghoulies.
Hey.
Well, right then.
Oh, that doesn't look good on. Yeah, you'll come to it. It's all good.
I actually need to check something because my notes seem to have cut off here. Yeah, my notes seem to have cut off. The early game was the Rats were doing something, but I can't quite remember. But what I've got here in my notes, it says Rob puts pressure on the now open ball and uses strip ball to get it. Scumbags put the ball. Oh, okay, so I've missed the first few turns here. I see. So, Liam had got the kick. Well, received the first half. I remember moving down the left hand side. He got an injury on Slippery Simon, but that was Apod, which I thought was a brave decision, so he can return to the slaughter to get punished again.
Okay. Yeah.
He Rob Top plays his game well. The Ghoulies try to go down the left hand side. Rob puts pressure on the now open ball and uses strip ball to get it. Scumbag picks the ball up and hands it off. Picks the ball and hands it off. The ball is then run back up the pitch into a scoring position. Liam, in response, does plenty of bashes and bases the ball carrier with Werewolf. Nigel Farage, the Werewolf, is killed, and Grammar School is also missed next game. Those were the two people that were basing the ball carrier, so it was a good turn for them. Ball carrier fails to dodge away, though, for the score. But Liam fails to capitalise on this as he snakes eyes his next turn and he's already out of rerolls at this point. Rob continues bashing, killing a player or two, fouling Boris Johnson but failing to do any serious damage and being sent off in the process. Liam manages to secure the ball with a ghoul, brings it to the centre of the pitch, though it's not really safe. Carriers blitz down, ball is collected and handed off to a rat with big hand, Slippery Scumbag I would assume. Liam blitzes the ball carrier but doesn't have the skills to bring the player down. Rob makes the ball safe and secures himself the opportunity for a turn 8, and Angry Joe kills Theresa May. 1-0 at half time. Second half, the Rats receive the ball and the Ghoulies get a perfect defence. Rats secure the ball because it went deep, so not much protection was required to keep the ball safe. Spends the rest of the turn debasing the players from the perfect defence. Liam tries to put pressure on the ball but fails GFIs to get to base contact with some Rats. Rob uses his high speed to re-maneuver the team, and Liam hasn't got the speed to keep up really with most of his players. He's already down a werewolf and his ghoul is out of the game as well. Liam starts playing like a coach that's run out of ideas really. Applies pressure to the ball and just doesn't really apply any pressure to the ball and just goes for maximum damage. Scumbag is injured by Boris this turn. Rats move the ball up but leave an opening. However, Liam snake eyes the GFI to knock down the ball carrier. Rob moves the ball up to one square from the end zone and starts moving his players into safe places and fouls Boris Johnson off the pitch, leaving no real threats around to the ball around. Liam moves players up the pitch, but they're really like 2 or 3 turns away because all his slow guys, all his movement 4s and flesh golems and zombies. And Rob scores through, though. Rob scores on turn 15, though gets a couple bashes in first because, it's Rob. He's going to get some bashes in. Rob's down to 5 Rats, but he's at 2-0 up. He's in an unstoppable position here. So the rest of the game is a bit of a bash fest, which is to be expected. With the game ending with Angry Angus being fouled and killed.
Okay.
So that reroll to bring back on Slippery Simon costs him a player at the end of the game.
Well, it might cost him Slippery Scumbag as well.
This is so he's got the SPP, but he's probably going to be losing a few players. So this is probably a Pyrrhic victory for him.
Yes.
In the long run. Okay, let's look at the statistics. Obviously, we've spoken about it. The Rats got quite a lot of possession. But interestingly, no throws. No throws at all for the Rats, which they've got the edge to do it, but they just didn't do it.
Yes.
Lots of deaths, lots of injuries, lots of everything. This game had a lot of hurts. There was.
Skaven aren't always a throwing team though, because they're so fast. If you can get the ball onto the right player at the beginning, you don't even need to throw it again. That can definitely happen.
Yeah, but as long as they kept talking about bounty, the other guys kept talking about bounty passes all of last season. So gotta have a go at them. You've got the edge to do it. You've got the edge for the bounty pass. Do the bounty pass.
Yeah.
Especially in that first turn and second half where there was no pressure being applied, so he could have afforded to. Let's look at the dice rolls. We've got Roll and Rat. Dice are pretty even, but quite a lot of ones, to be honest. So we're probably looking more like 24. Should be looking at about 24s. So those number of ones stands out like a sore thumb. Though his bashed out is certainly make up for it.
Yes.
More pals than pushes. I'm sorry. That's
insane.
Good players, good coaches don't get bad dice. On the other hand, Liam, his dice all pretty even. Nothing untoward there. Probably a little bit high on a couple of those and a bit low on some others, but nothing really.
I think his D6s look pretty good. 26 5s and 25 6s. That's quite high.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Even the 18 4s. I mean, 18 4s.
They're looking about. If you average that out, that should be about 22 or 23s, maybe 21s. Off the top of my head. So slightly above average, but probably within reason. Looking at those bash dice though, again, this game was very bashy, and the dice are showing that as well. A lot of defender stumbles, which that's not that good against Skaven, because Skaven do have access to dodge. But what's important is barely any skulls, only 10. Lots of pals, lots of down Skaven. It's a bloodbath, and I absolutely love it.
That's right. Let's see how many one dice blocks he's done. One, good manly. Oh no, I'm not as page.
I feel like he did
2.
3.
All right, 2. Yeah, two. Not too bad.
Well, the Rats did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So
that's a bit. Well, I suppose the context of when they were done.
Yeah.
And what players they were done on. It's just.
You can't complain about one dice rolls near the end of matches.
Oh, it's just the bane of my life. All these people doing one dice blocks when they don't have block, and they're moaning at me about the luck. It's like, no. Anyway,
good players get good luck. It's a fact.
Rob knows what he's doing, so it's
Yeah, so let's have a look at it. So that's a lot of SPP for the Rats. But I suspect there's not any level ups, or at least no one of importance gets a level up. Because the people that got the SPP are probably also injured.
Probably dead.
Well, in the case of Grabbed by the Ghoulies, they're probably dead. So we'll start with the Rats. Slippery Scumbag gets 8, Slippery Simon gets 3, Slippery Sam gets 2, and Angry Joe gets 6. So let's look at that team.
One more star player point, and then he reaches his goal for Slippery Simon. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, Slippery Scumbag, I'd be tempted to keep him because of having the double and big-handed that. But to me, it's just foul fodder. I mean, he's just a target, and he's going to be dead, and of course, sooner rather than later, he's going to. I personally at this point, -6 AV, I would just get rid of him.
I think
he's got the money to replace him.
Yeah, I think Slippery Sam has got a level up. No, just about not. Yeah,
but it looks
just about not,
because he's replaced the Storm Vermin. Interesting, angry Liam. I wonder if I'm trying to tell Liam something. So he's probably looks like he may be intending to keep him and just risk the AV loss. But,
yeah, another thing that I like to point out, Rob Top had a lot of money. He had 210 in the bank before the game, so he's only down to 140. So he's already had a look at his team, so he is keeping scumbag by the looks of things.
Yeah,
I
it
think
looks like he's good.
It's a bold move. It's a bold move because that is foul fodder.
It is, and I mean, he's coming up against a lot of teams with Mighty Blow, and I see how it goes.
I think he's betting the chips on this season again.
Yeah.
Okay, so the third game, your game. Forgotten Fridge Raiders versus the Lastria Headhunters. Two very experienced coaches. Two coaches that, two of the last season's top four. The two that didn't get to the final. Tell me.
That's right. We re-meet on the pitch again. I went in thinking, not that I'm definitely going to lose, but it would be a hard match. So Nurgle received the ball, and the Headhunters get a blitz. And obviously, I haven't set up for a blitz, but I'm able to bust up through one of the sides, and I sort of do run players up a bit because I'm like, well, if he fails to pick up the ball, I want to be in a position to take advantage of that and try to sort of control the direction he might move the ball carrier a bit. So he doesn't fail to pick up the ball, but he does move down the other side of the pitch, which is what I was trying to sort of force him to do. But he does move the beast of Nurgle across to be able to tie up some players, even though I get it down and able to free players. And the first half was interesting. We were fighting just over the line of scrimmage. I had players in the backfield from the blitz, so I lightning bolted the ball carrier, and it wasn't completely. I couldn't completely capitalize on that, but I was able to run a couple of players over to where the ball carrier was, but I failed to go for it, and down it went, and then the turn switched over. And it was a bit similar to his last game. We were fighting over that ball a bit, but the difference was he was able to jump in and pick up the ball and run it further down. But the whole way down, both of us were having to make a lot of risky dice rolls. We were putting the other one in quite a difficult position. The Beast of Nurgle was tied up still on the other side. In the end, he was blocking two of my players, but they were kind of holding that beast into position. So he didn't have the beast really on the side that he would have wanted him on. But yeah, he was able to fight his way down the pitch. We were quite close to the sidelines. I think he pushed off one of my players. I think I pushed off one of it, but it was getting very, very dangerously close to that. I mean, I was having to take a lot of one dice blocks. So my last chance to get the ball carrier down, I blitzed. I got the one dice block, and it was a push. It was just like, damn it. So yeah, he was able to break through and score. I had 2 turns to score, and it's possible, but not when your ball handler fails to pick up the ball and you're out of re-rolls. It's not possible, no matter what then. So didn't get to do it on a return. So going in the second half, obviously I'd already used my wizard. I'm receiving the ball. I pick up the ball, and I start running up one side of the pitch, and I can't really break through that way. So I juke off down to the other side of the pitch, and I can't break off that way. But Miss Strength 4, Edge 4 is the one that has the ball, because I definitely need my best player on this. And he was just we started making a bit of progress up the pitch, but he was just able to block it. And I thought, I'm not going to be able to hold it. I mean, I was making injuries, by the way. That was the other thing. Even in the first half, I'd injured a Pestigore. I'd injured.
There's one player that got injured this game. That's very.
We're coming to that. Yeah, we're definitely coming to that. But sorry, because I forgot. So yeah, even while all that was going on, and he was able to break through in the first half, I was out bashing him. And into the second half, I was out bashing him a little bit, although it was beginning to even out a little bit. I think he got a couple of KOs and things like that. So yeah, I was thinking, oh God, maybe I could still have a chance to get. So he moved these Beast of Nurgle right onto the ball carrier because he's able to sort of break through. Because I'm trying to break through one direction, he's trying to stop me from breaking through. He gets the Beast of Nurgle next to the ball carrier. So I hit the ball, I hit the beast down once, down it goes, and it stands it up again the next turn. I'm like, oh God, I said to him, this is going to be 2-0 to you. I said, I'm not going to giving up, but that's my prediction. And then I surrounded the beast again, hit it again, and injured it. And not only injured it, but minus AV'd it. And there was silence for a second.
It is very rude to say, I'm not going to win this game, I'm not going to do well this game, and then do get some bollocks luck.
Kill the Nurgle. No, that was it. I was just like, okay, that changes everything now. So I was able to, at that point, I think I still had the player advantage anyway, so I was able to break through, and I didn't try anything fancy. I was like, my best player has the ball, she's the one that's going to score with it. And she got the equalizer. And so unlike Rob Top, Matt's pretty much now like that beast is getting sacked. I mean, it's a bit more reasonable because that is a frontline player, at least with the gutter runner. You're not really wanting them in the thick of the action anyway. But a beast and Nurgle, that's his whole point, is to be there, stopping you from moving and things. So, but it wasn't a sure thing. I don't think either way. I mean, it was a hard fought for tie, I think, on both sides. But yeah, it was a good game.
Looking at statistics, the Dodge team having more of the possession is always an interesting thing that happens. But as you describe it, it definitely sounds like that's what was happening. Lots of blocks, of course. The more bashy team was succeeding more of those blocks. Does he have much tackle on his team?
No, he's hardly got. He's got one, I think.
So that
wasn't helping. And if you look at, I've inflicted 3 injuries on him. He only inflicted 1.
Yeah, you got a bit of like there. That's probably down to the dodges and all that. But
and as you can see, the way he equalised the number of KOs that came back.
So let's have a look at those dice rolls before we look at the SPP. That's a lot of 1s, Alistair. That's a lot of 1s you've rolled. There's also a lot of 6s.
That's right. Well, I felt even. I felt the die. I would complain about my dice stack game, but I think Matt would probably shout at me if I did because of the injuries I'd caused and
your
stuff.
Your 1s and 6s are high, but everything else it's probably
average.
You're probably looking at about 25, 26 is about average. So yeah, lots of 1s, lots of 6s. Your bash dice, surprisingly, 25 bashes. Yeah, it's slightly under, but within what you're expecting. But not many skulls. Not many skulls.
He had 1 dodge player, so those stumbles were downs. Except a couple of times it was on the dodge player. And nearly my entire team has blocks. So he's getting there. They're getting this Nurgle, so they need to develop into it. But he does have a couple of pinnacle players that don't have block yet. Yeah,
Nurgle's dices, the D6s are within what you're expecting. They're within a reasonable grouping, though. Not many 2s, but that's all about average. You're looking at about 20s with the amount of dice he's rolled. And the amount of blocks. That's a lot of skulls, Matt. Oh.
A lot of both downs that don't mean anything. A lot of stumbles don't, they're just pushes.
Yeah. You're not getting the dice you need there, mate. You're very lucky there.
Well, one thing we said was foul appearance is just not kicked. This is the second game, no foul appearance. So his previous game, because I watched that one, and this game, no foul appearance on him. So even in terms of that, he's luck. That was below average luck.
One foul appearance, which is when you're rolling 1 out of 20, 95%. When you're looking at about 83%. Yeah, you're looking for 3 foul appearances as opposed to 1. That's not that good. Even tentacles only came off once. That's normally. I remember playing against games, but you seem to have playing games against 2 tentacles and being stuck for ages.
That's right. You just can't break free sometimes. It kicked in at a time. Yeah, it wasn't pinnacle, but I mean, his disturbing presence did affect the way I played. I mean, that was what was whole tying me up in that second half.
Yeah,
can't do passes, can't even do handoffs.
I'm going to have real fun against this team with all my pass block and.
It's nuts because you start looking. It's like 6+ just to hand off the ball because they're in like 4 disturbing presence zones. It's he is pretty good at getting the right players into the position to
Yeah.
make that
If I
really
can
kick
get
in.
one more level up on one of my players, I can probably go for some ridiculous throws like I did with the Wood Elf team once. But we'll talk. But let's see. We're not going to come talk about
Let's,
that.
let's see if he was true to his word and whether he's. I mean, the only difference on my team is the new Blitzer
Yeah.
is missing next game, but no other level ups, nothing, just the same.
So we're going to look at your
Uh,
team quickly, but we're going to look at the Fridge Rangers first. Acopia Cordis got 5, Bighorn got 3, and Wee Man got 1. Now I've gone too far back. Give me a second. Teams, where are you, Matt? There you are. Acopia Cordis got 5, but yeah, that's not a level up yet. Wee Man got 3. That is not a level up. What's the level up around 30? Isn't it 31? Isn't it?
31.
Yeah, so that's not a level up. And Bighorn Valder also doesn't get a level up. So no level ups for Matt. He has kept 5-year-old Sandwich. I would sack him. I don't think you need it when you've got 2 strength up players. Strength 5. Get those. They need tentacles. They need tentacles.
He did say that's what he's intending to do with
Yeah.
them.
And
Is put
then
tentacles on them.
And then your team, yeah, your team's starting to look a little bit.
It's only a miss next player blitzer.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll live with it. I mean, it looks like
your catcher needs to make a throw to get a level up, so that could be good.
She's got to. She's in order to keep up with the rest of the team at this point, though. If she doesn't roll a double or something like agility, she's getting sacked. And I'll get another one.
There's no way your catchers don't have access to agility. Yeah, they have agility.
I don't know. I mean, double for. I mean, agility as in the stats. Sorry, not
I
the
see.
skill group. Yeah, no, because at the moment, I mean, I'll see.
Dive and catch.
Diving catch. Yeah, that might be a one to consider on there. Yeah, I'll think about it. I'll definitely try to get her leveled up in the next game, but we'll see.
So, yeah, your team's you're still looking solid and tight. You've got a lot of money in the kitty, so you've got
running
options.
Running out of things to spend it on. I mean, last game for that game, I bought like a few cheerleaders and that, and just sacked them. But I might see if I can get a level stadium just for the bragging rights.
Yeah, fair enough. So,
anyway, next one.
Commissioner Gibbs Barmy versus Flight of the Lizards. It's a good result for Liam, I think. Leon. I think it's a good result for Liam. So, Flight of the Lizards. Phil, I've accidentally pressed watch replay. Phil's looking to continue his 100% run, and Leon wants to bounce back after a bad result in the Lizard Derby. Leon's chef proves to be useless in the first half, with 0 rerolls stolen. Both teams get a bribe at kickoff, the Chorfs receive, and the ball is in the middle of the pitch. And it's 5 blocks, 5 downs for the Chorfs, and then then the ball is made safe by Phil in the hands of Killer Callum, and I'm going to quickly exit the game that I've accidentally started. Leon spends his turn trying to stand up his Saurus, only for them to get knocked down a turn later. Phil stalls for a little bit while Leon tries to put on some pressure. Phil enters a Saurus and starts moving upfield just into Leon's half. Leon blitzes the ball carrier, but snakes at GFI for the hit. Phil moves further up, but this time provides more protection to his carrier. Leon tries to make some bashes, tries to dodge for a skink, which fails on his final dodge roll. That skink is then fouled off the pitch next turn, and Phil puts the ball 1 square from the end zone. Rest of the half is a bit of a slog. Fouled and injured. The Croc is fouled and injured, followed by the skull and Liam's first block of his next turn, and he's all out of rerolls because when you got a halfling master chef doing bugger all, you're not going to have a good time. Phil makes many bashes as he can before scoring right on half time, 1-0 to the Chorfs. The chef in the second half though takes all the rerolls and then some. So Leon has 5 rerolls. All of Leon's KO'd players come back for the second half. So he's only 3 players down. Thrown rock on both sides. It's a Chorf lineman. It's a Chorf and a Saurus. They both get knocked down. Phil kicks the ball midway into the half. Bashes are made. The ball is secured without reroll. Pressure is applied by the Skinks to show their worth by running through. And Chorf's bash, but neglect to apply pressure. This is not punished though, as Leon's first skink fails a roll. It seems like common. Whenever there's a chance for Leon to punish something, he always fails his his skink always lets him down. Phil goes tries to kill as many players and applies pressure to the ball, but fails. Movement 9 skink manages to secure the ball and score for making it 1-1. Leon locks out next turn, gets a blitz. Puts a skink base under where the ball's going to be, and then blitzes down a gobbo which is next to the ball. Catches the ball. Phil then blitzes the ball carrier, and then puts it down and puts 5 tackle zones around the ball. After then, Leon blitzes back, and then knocks the ball into 3 tackle zones. So it went from 5 tackle zones to 3 tackle zones. It's a bit of a maul back and forth in the middle of the field, while on the line of scrimmage the Chorfs have a bit of a domination going. Eventually the ball finds itself in 0 tackle zones because Phil tries to come in with a gobbo, but then fails the dodge when he tries to get the gobbo free. And the ball bounces favourably. Leon manages to grab a skink, pick the ball up, run as safe as he can, but safe as he can is not really that safe. Phil blitzes the ball carrying skink but fails to knock it down because he has no rerolls this half. But he does then put a Chorf with tackle as a tackle to help make it harder for the skink to score. Leon tries to use the Saurus to try and blitz the Chorf out the way to make the skink have a reroll instead of just knocking down, but rolls skull both down into skull both down and fails to. Therefore, he is knocked down, and the opportunity to grab a surprising victory was gone. The rest of the half is a bit of a bash fest. The game ends with the Chorfs trying to make a pass but failing because they're Chorfs.
That's right.
It was a bit of a slog. Leon had moments where it looked like he was going to run away with it, but so did Phil. That second half could have gone either way. It really could have. And the fact that it went neither way is probably the best thing that could have happened. Probably the best thing that could happen for everyone else. But I think both these teams feel like they could have won that game.
Yeah, I think the tie is a better result for the Lizards.
Yeah, better result for the Lizards, especially because they needed a bounce back. But yeah, if you look at the ball possession, of course the Chorfs have more ball possession. Lots of knockouts inflicted by the Chorfs. One injury inflicted by the Lizards. Lots of running yards from the Skinks, of course, also not a surprise.
So did the Lizards need their apothecary this game?
I don't think they did. They might have.
Trying to justify getting them to both take. Anyways.
I'm pretty sure they did. You should always get an apothecary anyway.
Yeah,
it's a well spent 50k because if the apothecary is successful once, especially against a Saurus, it's saved you however much a Saurus costs, which I think is probably 90k.
Yeah, it's made its money.
Yeah, lots of bashes, lots of damage for the Chorfs. Lizards do lizard things, and the blessed block has finally been taken on Leon's team. Finally, we can look at that in a bit. Look at those dice rolls. Not many ones for Leon. Lots of ones for Leon. I mean, sorry. Though that is a lot of dice.
Yeah, he looks like he did roll a lot of dice.
So we're looking probably at about 29-30 as the average. So The number of 2s and 3s is below average. Looking at those dice rolls, nothing sticks out to me as a surprise, apart from maybe those going for it, actually. Yeah, that is actually quite lucky when they go for it. Maybe just outside of the distribution you sort of expect. But let's looking at those power dice. It didn't matter, really. That's a lot of blocks. A lot of both downs fail, which are gonna hurt him. Though, yeah, he's unlucky. He's just unlucky there because lots of stumbles as well. Sorry, I forget for a second. I thought he was playing Amazons. I was very confused for a second. But yeah, he's got unlucky unlucky there because if he's rolled, if you add his stumbles and his blocks together, he's rolled about average. But that's not a nice distribution. He's unlucky there.
No, it's not.
And if we look at the other side, the Chorfs roll exactly what you're expecting, though probably not that many pounds, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So got a little bit unlucky, but also not many pushes compared to his defender stumbles, which is good against most of the team he's playing against because there's only 3 or 4 skinks on Leon's team. Looking at those d6s, not many dice rolled, only 3 5s. What on earth's happening there? Pickups bang average. Going for it within the sort of distribution you're sort of expecting. Not disappointingly unlucky there. Those numbers are so low that I'm actually struggling to calculate what the averages should be. I think the averages should be about 7 or 8, maybe 9. So other than those 5s, which is a bit of a discrepancy, he's just been relatively unlucky, completely.
Yeah. He probably hasn't. He hasn't done a lot of dodge. He's only done 3 dodges the whole game, so that's all mostly been armor breaks.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's not bad actually. Yeah, still unlucky.
Yeah, it's still unlucky because he's not getting the armor breaks that he needs.
But yeah, let's look at the SPP now. So, Crocodile and Alligator got 8 SPT. Planes, Trains, and Komodos got 2. So let's look at the Lizards. Crocodile and Alligator has not got a level up yet, but it's not got a second level up. Planes, Trains, and Komodos has got block. Oh, hallelujah!
That's the way forward. I just want to see what his injury is on his next game.
I don't think there's anything bad.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, keep the plus movement skink. But yeah, he's not quite there yet for me to go too much into the development. I mean, he wants to buy one more reroll.
Yeah,
I'm going to cover I'm going to cover a little bit more on Ken's Lizard team because it's solid advice really for both Lizard teams. So I'll hold back there because after I talk about Ken's game, you'll see why. Yeah, you'll see why.
And then if we look at the Barmy Army, Mad Matt Oakley gets 5, Matt Ball gets 6, and I get 3. So let's have a look. Where are you, Phil? You're down here. Mad Matt Ball gets 6, or was it 5? 5. It was 5. He only gets, so he's not got a level up. Who got 6? Someone got 6. I got 3 because I got a touchdown.
I don't think any. It doesn't look like anybody. Maybe there's an extra.
Yeah.
No.
Nothing.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think there's any level ups there. But you know, his team's so developed that, of course, it's quite hard to get any level ups really.
Especially of course he's.
Minos are talking
next game he's going to have both Bull Centaurs on the pitch again. That'll be fun for whoever's playing him.
So your game. Well, your next game.
Next one is Flight of Dude Where's My Chameleon? We're both doing it. No, Dude Where's My Chameleon versus a snobbity snob. So the chameleons receive the ball, and this is going to feed into things later. There's some bashing going on and hitting, just what to be expected. He moves the skink up to pick up the ball, which is perfectly reasonable. Fails to pick up the ball, has to spend a team reroll, fails to pick up the ball. Welcome to the wonderful world of low-level lizard teams. That becomes a theme throughout the entire game. So, Chris is able trying to maneuver around. It's an opportunity for him because the ball's actually quite close to the line of scrimmage. It gets back to Ken's turn. He does actually do some other stuff before he tries to pick up the ball again. He goes to pick up the ball and he fails to pick up the ball, and then burns a reroll and then picks up the ball.
4 dice, 1 pickup.
Yeah, and then he goes to hit. Oh, that's the next turn. So yeah, because he's had 4 dice to pick up the ball over 2 turns, that's allowed the snobs to get around where the ball carrier is. I can't quite 100% base him, but the ball, the lizards look like they're in a bit of trouble. Unless they can get out of there. So he does manage to. He whacks them around off the corners with these sauruses, because of course the snobs have been dodging away from them, and he has protected the ball carrier with the sauruses, so he is able to break free the skink, runs the skink up the field as far as he can get it, which was a pretty good maneuver on Ken's part. The high elves come in, they blitz the skink, they just get a push. And I mean, this is again, welcome to the world of low-level lizards. He goes to hit with a saurus and gets 2 both downs. That was like the second move he made. Bang! He not able to move the ball carrier, and then the high elves able to blitz, hit the ball carrier, grab the ball, chuck the ball, and then it was touchdown number 1, basically. And that was basically the entire game for Paul Ken. Ken didn't do anything he shouldn't have done. He wasn't playing particularly badly, but he got hosed by the lack of development on a new lizard team. It's nothing that he could do about that. If you get a both down on a Saurus when you don't have rerolls to turn over, if the skinks aren't picking up the ball, it's just a turnover. And I think the other thing that I'm mentioning is that high elves are actually taking the sauruses off the pitch. He had a couple of injuries. Yeah. So by the second half, it was a bit of a nightmare. But that again, that is actually down to a lack of block. If you will, until you get block, it's an extra dice you go down on. It's an extra chance for injuries. It's like Leon will see with the one Saurus he has with block, that one will start leveling up faster now than the others because he's getting people down a lot more and things like that. But for Ken, it just there was nothing he could do. There was nothing he could do about that, except all he can try to do is, as he levels up, you'll see a marked improvement in the Lizards by the end of this season, though. I mean, they got good star player distribution points. I mean, like I said, Ken's not playing terribly. He's just getting, I don't know. The dice they felt uneven in the game, but a lot of that, it could just be the lack of the skills on the Lizards making it seem that way.
I was speaking with Ken on Wednesday. He definitely said he's going to at least see how this team goes, because he's definitely more happy with this team than he was with his vampires last season.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my advice to you, Ken, is you have to just be aware that as much as all that strength for Saurus seems great at first, until you get the skills on them, they're an unreliable team. They just are, and you have to stick with to see them level up. But so it was just Chris was able to outmaneuver around it, less Sauruses. The second touchdown happened pretty quick. But then they kicked back off to the Lizards. And it's just Ken was down Sauruses. He was down players. He had no rerolls. He was running out of rerolls quite quickly because of the lack of skills. Chris was able to get the ball back again, and he almost gets a third touchdown, but fails to go for it twice in the end zone. As we're all want to see.
You're all
As,
guaranteed to know one when you're going for that last go for it.
As it happened. So, it was a 2-0 victory to the Snobbity Snobs. But Ken did. I mean, you're going to have games like that early on for Lizards. You just are. I mean, it's what I hope the Lizard players can see after, because I had the same experience with Skink not picking up the ball, and that's when I went. As soon as I've got everything I need, if I have the money to replace them, they don't have anything good, they're gone. I want sure hands. The first time I did it, I got an adjunct skink. I will post up my Lizard team so people can see what I mean about the skinks. But the second I sacked another one, they got sure hand. They got double, gave him sure hands, and so they just become more reliable. But like I said on Leon's thing, like plus move, keep him, don't sack him, keep him. Got plus move, great. That's going to help you out because you need those skills on your ball handlers. Even the orcs can get a sure hand ball handler, straight away. So yeah, it was just a lack of skill. I mean, the Sauruses will sort themselves out, and that's why I'm very pushy. You obviously, if you really want to take that dodge as a first skill, feel free to do it, but it's not going to stop the turnovers. It's you need block. You absolutely need to get block as a first skill on all the Sauruses. But obviously, so we go to statistics.
So let's look at the statistics. We've got the Dodge team having higher ball possession, which is always a surprise, but as you described, Ken's been ridiculously shafted by some dice here. They also outbashed, as you also described, they outbashed the Lizards.
Two injuries, 2 KOs.
It was everything.
Yeah. But like I said, the noticeable thing about it was just lack of skills on the player. Lack of Ken's skill might get misinterpreted. Lack of skills on the actual
Ken's
players.
Skills
on the players. But I mean, I hope the dice rolls actually sort of back that up a little bit.
Yeah. So let's look at those dice rolls. Let's go to those pickup rolls. 22%. Nah. Poor Ken. Poor Ken.
7 failures to pick up the ball on those skinks. So, mate, if you got the money, and I'm going to keep saying it, if a skink gets a normal level up, just bye skink until you get a couple of them that have got doubles for sure hands, or maybe a couple or block, but definitely sure hands.
Sidestep on a couple of them, but yeah, I do agree that.
No, sack them. Just sack them. They're so easy to. The problem is what I found was if you can't afford to replace them, don't sack them. We'll come to that in a minute because a couple of them skinks are quite close to leveling up, or are close to a second level up. That's fine. But if they're by the second level up, they're not getting doubles or anything like a plus edge or a plus strength, or plus move. Get rid of them. Just get rid of. It's a lot quick.
Ken needs to stop his passing game with the skinks. They've got Stumpty.
Be careful with the pass that he. The pass, the catches might also be bouncing balls and things. He only did, because 3 passes. The one pass he did do, I think it was this game anyway. They were beginning to merge into one. It was kind of if it came off and it could have led to something good. But the skinks aren't for passing. No, absolutely not. You can hand off to them, but passing to them, it's just forget it. It's like minus.
Assuming
not worth it.
Assuming all those catches are from handoffs and passes, that's still just about within the margin of error. It's one failure to success away from exactly what you're expecting. So there's nothing wrong with that. 4 intercepts failing, again, you can't really judge that. Even if you had successfully exceeded that, you weren't getting the ball because of safe throw. Armors and casualties, we have still no idea how that works yet. But dodges, completely within the lines what you're expecting. Your dice rolls are about what you're expecting there, or at least on the D6s.
Yeah.
On the bash dice, you rolled quite well, apart from a lot of both downs.
Yeah, we're chart leading.
So my mistake. Actually, you rolled pretty naff apart from both downs, which is pretty damn naff.
Yeah.
I miscalculated. I was counting 38, not 28. Anyway, now if we have a look at the Snobty Snobs, they've got a lot of ones, but where those ones came are very important. Those catches are what you're expecting. Those 3 injuries from the fire, 3 damages from the fireball. I worked this out from my last game. Success means they failed to. Success means they're off the pitch. That's what success means when it comes to fireball. So 3 out of 4. That's pretty good. But it's still within margin of error if you calculate that. Everything else is nothing sticks up as untoward apart from those pickup rolls. Actually, again, not the sort of pickup rolls you should be expecting with elves. Was he picking up in tackle zones quite a lot?
A couple of times, yeah.
Okay, that might explain that then. Pass play. Were they long passes? Because 4 failures, they were long passes. So
not every pass was a long pass, but he's not shy about trying to lob the ball halfway down the field.
Inspiring play.
Yeah.
Looking at those dice rolls, again, slightly better than average pals, slightly more than average blocks. Well, both downs, and I assume he's got blitzes at least, so he at least has players with block. So nothing that says, oh, you've been a bit unlucky there. But again, Chris played well, and remember what I said, good players get good luck.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at the SPP, which is going to be important. That's a lot of SPP for Chris. How much are we calculating there? 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Rookie numbers, Chris. That's a lot of SPP, but that's rookie numbers. We'll get to that. So let's have a look. We've got probably no level ups for Ken. In fact, I'm pretty damn sure there's no level ups for Ken. Because he probably said something to me about it. Where are the comedians? Dude, where's my comedian? There you are. 10, 20 doesn't look like one.
So, yeah, I mean, the thing is...
Yeah, no level ups.
He won't have level ups, but so he's going to be getting a Croxagore probably next, because he's already got the re-rolls. But he is getting close to these level ups, and he's not that far off to be thinking about the sort of things I'm saying. So let's say, a couple of these are leveling up. I mean, you don't sack them unless you can replace them. But I'm telling you right now, a skink with sure hands or 3 strength, or particularly 4 agility, is worth more to you than a skink with sidestep and sprint, or sidestep and diving tackle, or sidestep and whatever you want out of that thing. On the skinks, the doubles and the sure hands is worth a lot more. And as you saw, Ken, the reason being is, you burnt through all those re-rolls. I mean, the Sauruses will take care of themselves because they can all access block almost straight away, and you've got 2 that are going to could level up reasonably soon. So, something that I think both Lizard players should bear in mind is that, like Leon's got the movement 9 skink, keep him. That is almost 1 turn touchdown material with sprint and short feet.
What is important?
Turn it into something.
Ken does have his apothecary now. That is important.
Yes. Well, it's just for a Lizard team on the skinks, understanding that sacking, because basically getting another 6 star players points to get the skills you need is obviously going to happen a lot quicker than getting 12 star player points, because you've let them level up twice. Obviously, skills are useful, but not as useful as the other skills. With them being able to pick up the ball, they'll score more touchdowns and they'll catch up again really, really quickly. So I've got to probably reiterate this most weeks, but honestly, it's one of the big struggles a lot of players have in Blood Bowl, is understanding that sometimes it's better to sack a level up player to see if you can develop something better. Skaven Gutter Runners are another one that I recommend doing it with. So it's not every single sort, but big guys as well. Some of the big guys keep sacking them until they roll block, they're all double block.
So just to reiterate, Alistair recommends sacking Gutter Runners.
Your
So
gutter
go
runners are
Suarez.
skinks as well. So your skinks don't your skink rolls, normal dice, gone. Bye bye. Like I said, I'll post up my little team where I use strategy, and you have a look at the skinks that I've got. And actually, no one cares about my Saurus. We killed them all, but everyone fears my skinks because
Right.
of the skills that they've
Let's look
got.
at Chris's
But
team.
anyway,
Chris's team. I've checked. He's got at least 2 level ups. His kick player, Hawthorne, whatever his name is, has got block now because the kick player's now got block, and the other one, which he bragged about on the Facebook page, was
yes,
his edged up players now got league because of course he does, and of
yeah,
course.
that
Let's count that. How much SPP does he need for his next level up? He needs 15 SPP for his next level up. Well, I don't think he's going to get another level up. I just don't think that's going to happen.
yeah, that player needs to die.
He doesn't even need to die. He's not even that good at this point.
Well, no, that's exactly. He needs to die before
Yeah,
he does get good.
yeah, he's going to die before he gets good.
Don't
Uh,
let him get another skill.
yeah, if you've got any other level ups, Chris, I'm sorry, we are not going to put them because we are looking at the time. We are starting to creep over an hour.
Yeah,
So we're now going to talk about my game, the Leviathans versus As Requested. There was a bit of an unspoken thing here between me and Wilma. I think we both went for the same strategy. I don't think either of us really cared about the result because of how we played. So the game ended up every drive apart from one drive ended up going the exact same way. Team goes down the left-hand side. Attacking team goes down the left-hand side. Defending team applies some but not much pressure, just enough to make them want to score. And then they score. So the first drive, that happens. This happens, but Willem the throw is so deep that Willem spends some time using his throw to level up one of his players, or at least get a single SPP from one of his players. So his throw then has the ball, but is not really that safe. He runs the rest of his team 2 or 3 catches upfield in scoring positions. In response, I put pressure on, and then I punch down the ball carrier. The ball is on the edge of the pitch, so I get counter blitzed, and the ball bounces off the pitch, and then bounces somewhere in the middle of the pitch. Someone goes to pick the ball up and goes for a throw. I try to go for the pass block. I fail the pass block. Nice catch, touchdown. 1-0 Willem. I then countered. This is the only drive that doesn't go down the left-hand side. The ball is kicked very deep, but Willem leaves the centre open, so I put 3 of my catches in the centre, including Luis Figo III, who's the one who was a new player this game. So I'm hoping to give 2 touchdowns to him to give him a level up. So make the hole in the middle wider, and then run 3 catches through. Spend a turn picking. Spend a turn picking up the ball and then throwing it from one thrower to the other thrower, because just to get that a few extra yards. Next turn round, Willem starts applying pressure. I decided to go for, instead of throwing the ball upfield, to run up and hand the ball off upfield, and then using that handed off player to give the throw. However, the player I hand off to fails the catch. I re-roll, and he fails the re-roll. Suddenly, I'm on the back foot here. Willem starts trying to apply some pressure. He gets 2 tackle zones on the ball, but fireballs 3 players around. I had the 3 fireballs. The players I had around the ball off. 2 were off. 1 was on. But misclicks a block. He makes a 2 dice block. The result is a push and skull, and he accidentally takes the skull, which is an opportunity, and I'm not going to waste it. So I make the ball safe. I don't have a chance to pick up the ball this turn, but the ball is so safe that the next turn it's a free pickup, then an easy throw to Luis Figo, who makes a score 1-1. I then get Willem then sets up to go down the left-hand side again. I get a perfect defense. I get a little bit of luck, and it's a steal. So he tries to go down the left anyway, but fails to break his way through. I base the ball carrier. The ball carrier fails to get out and fails to dodge. Luis Figo's ran through and he scores to make it 2-1 at half time. And the second half is very boring because it's the same drive 4 times, with the only minor adjustments being done to get certain players get level ups. So I'm not even going to bother talking about the second half because nothing exciting happened until maybe turn 15 and 16, when I can't even tell you because I can't look at the dice rolls because it happened at the very, very, very end.
Right.
It basically Willem had a catcher with the ball and a catcher in the end zone. But the catcher with the ball had 3 or 4 tackle zones around him. So he makes a throw. I fail the intercept, and he succeeds the catch. And the catch is also based, so it's a 4+ catch, 6+ throw, with a 5+ intercept with a reroll. And so I was like, well, that's incredibly lucky. But the score is 3-4 at the end. Though, to be fair, the luck's probably deserved. Willem played well enough, and I think we both weren't really caring. I felt like, or at least that we weren't caring about a result. We were just really pushing the SPP numbers up because we're both elf teams. It wasn't really spoken. It was just that's how it happened.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does happen.
Yeah. Because I was like, why would I try and stop him from scoring when I'm winning, and instead I get the ball back at security, and I can get more SPP if I let him score. But I had the game in control. I think after the perfect defense, I felt there was no need to risk anything too difficult there. So the game easily could have been any sort of result. If I didn't get that perfect defense, there might have been a bit of more of a panicked play because Willem would be going up 2-1 at half time, so I would have had to play a bit more aggressively. But you know, lots of dice rolls. If you look at those statistics, look at those possession numbers. The ball was mainly in my half, but not by that much more than it was in his half.
No.
13 passes this game. 12 passes this game. All of them successful. Stalemate on the amount of blocks caused, though I did more damage, which is a little bit of a surprise considering I have the slightly lower armor value. Yeah, and let's look at the dice rolls.
Well, again, that might come down to having the more skills as well. If you have, I think you probably have more block than Willem. So
that's a lot of ones for Willem actually, and he's probably looking at dice that should be aiming around the 29-30 mark. Actually, no, the 26 to 28 mark, and 41s. That is very unlucky. Though I feel like most of them probably were actually in casualties because it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like that's how he was rolling. Fails 2 dodges out of 14 attempts. That's within margin of error.
that's fair.
Passes. He makes 9 pass attempts. 3 of them failed, but as you can work that out, because of the pass skill, and they're all done with the pass skill, that's fine. Because he just re-rolled those fails. Then we have a look at the block dice. Not many skulls. Probably slightly lucky, but again, both downs are dependent on who's making the both downs. Then if we look at my team, we've got block dice. Let's look at the D6s. I make 2 successful intercept rolls, but it doesn't matter because it's a safe throw. Dodges, I'm a little bit lucky on my dodges, but not particularly. Because I know a couple of them were 3+ dodges, not 2+ dodges. So if we're looking at 2+ dodges, we're just about in margin of error. If they're 3+, that's not so much. 7 successful passes. I wasn't even given an opportunity for him to intercept because of how I was making my passes. Fireball. 2 players knocked off the pitch. 1 player not knocked off the pitch. They were important players, but luckily they came back after the KOs. My dice, again, I'm slightly lucky on my dice. I think. I don't know. I creeped a little bit of luck there. I feel like this whole game. But if we look at these dice, a lot of skulls. A lot of skulls. Bear in mind, the last 2 turns I rolled 6 skulls. I rolled 3 double skulls in a space of 2 turns.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can see. Obviously, it depends for those both downs. Okay, there's 3 double skulls.
3 double skulls.
One.
I'm pretty sure I rolled 3
Oh,
double skulls.
you've got a single skull that you re-roll.
Single skull.
You got further up a double skull. So I tried to do it quite briskly. Another double. Yeah, 3 double skulls. 3 double skulls and a single skull. Yeah, they counted. They counted.
They counted near the end, but again, it didn't matter because the game was beyond a doubt at that point because there wasn't enough time for him to score 2. But you know, I lost my luck. I lost my luck when it didn't count. It didn't count anymore.
I mean, from the look of it, you re-rolled nearly all of them except for 1 double skull that you had to take.
Yeah, it's oh well, things happen.
You won.
I won in the end. But yeah. No, let's look at the SPP numbers. I calculated earlier, I'm going to calculate again, but I'm pretty sure it's 51 SPP. So 5, 10, 11, 12, 19, 23, 23 from Willem, 11, 14, 18, 21, 28, my mistake, 49 SPP.
Close enough.
Close enough. 49 SPP. This game was very elfy. It couldn't have been much more elfy.
That's a good result for Willem, considering I imagine he's gotten a couple of level ups out of that in a newer team. I mean, that's the sort of game I think he really needed. So he should probably see a lot.
A guy who's not really going for the bash, who's just going to try and score as many touchdowns. Yeah. But yeah, I got level ups on the players I needed. But we'll look at Willem's level ups or possible level ups. So let's go to the Leviathans. Yeah, his team has definitely got some level ups here, surely. So he already had strong arm. Has he actually picked any level ups here? He's got dodge on Harp Star.
Yeah.
The movement up was already a thing. So it looks actually like that his level ups have been so well distributed that the only 2 level ups are strong arm on the thrower, which is a double, which is obviously the double you take, and dodge on Heart of the Star.
But close enough for 1 blitz is obviously going to level up really soon. I mean, yeah, they're going to develop.
They're in a good position because both his catches are a touchdown away. His team seems fine. Next game he's probably going. After next game, if he gets decent enough rolls, he's probably going to get the team re-roll, meaning he's going to be a 3 re-roll team. I remember Willem took 3 re-rolls because 3 re-rolls, team re-rolls is induced re-rolls, which I thought was but bold decision. But he said, "Have you seen my rolling?"
That's right. Yeah, well, I mean, a bit over. But hey, if he needed them and it worked, and
he didn't need them in the first half. He didn't need. I remember he had 0 re-rolls at the end of the first half. In the second half, he still had a couple spare. But yeah, the second half, I remember I ended the game with 6 re-rolls, which I thought was a bit weird. No, and then, sorry, in turn 14, I had 6 re-rolls to his 4 because of the amount of touchdowns meant we got a lot of cheering fans and brilliant coaching. My level ups, both my blitzers and my Luis Figo got a level up. So both my blitzers went and got tackle, and Luis Figo went and got block. Nothing too surprising there, really. I was considering dodge, but then I realised there's a lot of Chorf teams here, so I might want to get that do dodge on the second level up. Yeah, we're looking at a team that's not quite there yet, but it's good enough to do what it's there to do. But I've still got plans. This team is not finished.
Absolutely. I mean, they're still developing, but obviously we're going to look at the leaderboard second, so you can't cry too much about your team.
I'm not crying yet, so don't worry.
You don't.
So let's Any final notes or any of the teams? I think Roland Rat probably should be sacking that scumbag again.
The Rats are taking a bit of damage this season, but it's
Yeah.
a bit overdue in fairness. But he's still in there with a real chance.
To make up for the lack of highlights this week, we are going to start doing. I think we should go back to doing the predictions.
Oh, okay.
I think because the lack of highlights, it's always something. So first game this week is As Requested versus the Freddy's Nightmares. I think.
Well, it's sort of basing it on Barry's last couple of games. But I would still say he's now going to have to be facing a team that can put the ball wherever it wants and has a lot more manoeuvrability. And the Werewolves are not so much of an advantage. So I'm going to give it like 2-1 to you, maybe 3-1 to you. 3-1 to you.
You say 3-1. I'm saying 4-1 to me.
Okay, we're kind of the same park then. That's fine.
So Leviathans versus Snobty Snobs, the High Elf Derby.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it will be possibly a similar result to what you were seeing. I don't know. Chris Will plays a bit more cautiously than Chris. I don't know. I'll say 3-2 to the Snobs because the Snobs are the more developed high elf team.
I'm going to say 2-2 because of I just think that's the sort of thing that's going to happen. Just 2-2. Dude, where's my chameleon? Ken versus Phil.
Well, I would normally have given this maybe 2-0 to Phil, but there's something going on with the Barmy Army this season. So I'm going to sort of say potentially either 1-1. Yeah, 1-1. I'm going to give it 1-1.
I'm going to say I don't think so. I think the slip-up will be amended this next game. I'm going to say 3-1.
Yeah, maybe. Well, understanding that he's had a new baby and everything, and he's massively tired probably all the time. I imagine. So we'll see. I'm only kidding. Anyway, next.
So Flight of the Lizards versus Forgotten Fridge Raiders.
Leon's Lizard team. I know Matt was a bit disheartened at losing the Beast. I think he'd be 2-1. I'm going to give it 2-1 to the Fridge Raiders. He's just put block on Asaurus, but they, I think the lack of skills is still going to come into play.
I kind of agree there. 2-1 seems sensible there. Leon is capable of scoring. That movement up skink is going to be a pest. He has got the strength, but he hasn't. But the strength up players haven't got the claw, so there's always going to still be those two dices.
There's always room for an upset. Always.
So you versus Grabbing by the Ghoulies.
Oh, I reckon 2-1 to the Headhunters. I think he's hardly got any tackle. We've got more skills. He's werewolf strength, even though I joke, but his strength for werewolf doesn't bother me because I've got a strength for thrower to match it. So
I kind of agree with you on the same sort of policy, but I'm thinking 2-0 because of the lack of tackle, not 2-1.
Yeah, I'm being a bit cautious and try not to be too cocky.
And before we talk about this game, I'm going to tell you a little story about Payton Manning.
Right.
Have you heard of Payton Manning?
It rings a bell, maybe.
So he's the NFL aficionados can talk about this and just correct me if I'm wrong here. But in the game, Payton Manning was a famous quarterback. And in the game where he broke the passing yards record for quarterbacks, he played an absolute shit show. So I'm thinking Slippery Simon is going to score very early and is going to be killed. It's just the perfect story in my head.
It just is. So that's what needs to. Slippery Simon needs to score, and then he needs to not killed, like killed, like killed, a pock, killed, dead.
Yeah.
God,
I'm just thinking. I've just got Payton Manning in my head, and I just thought I just need to say that. So what do you reckon? So what do you reckon?
This is I probably gotta say 2-1 to the Rats. I kind of want to say 3-1 to the Rats, but 2-1 to the Rats. I think I don't know. Dan could could surprise us all. I think he could actually win it as well. But I just think he might find it. I don't think he's played the Rats for a while, and they can be a bit of a shock when suddenly Slippery Simon's jumping over your carefully prepared lines.
This, in my opinion, is the game that will have an upset, but the upset will be 2-2. So do you say 2-1 or 3-1?
I'll go 2-1.
I'm saying 2-2.
Yeah, it's totally possible. It's even possible. IDF could definitely win it, but
yeah. But now we've done that. Gonna have one last look at the leaderboard. So
it kind of starts to take some shape now, but it is still anybody. You don't.
The Snobbity Snobs are a bit lower than where you would expect them to be, but I think they have had they've played 2 of the tougher games, I think, at the start of the season. I do think Snobbity Snobs are still going to be up there by the end.
Me and Matt tied each other down in the middle.
Yeah, you two tied. I think Matt's going to have the better of you by the end of it, looking at this. Barry's doing well, considering it's a brand new Necromantic team, and he is the lowest TV team in the league at the moment. So
that's right, yeah.
That TV difference could make a difference against me, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, so we'll see what happens this week. Lots of exciting games, rooms for upsets.
I think so.
I think that's it for us now, isn't it?
That's it. So